The churches are not helping, okay? Have you guys seen this lady on TikTok where she's calling all of these churches to see if they would help her buy a can of formula for her baby? I don't have the most recent stats. I just looked at it, I think the day before yesterday. The majority of the Christian churches that she called, like 70 to 80%, would not help her. Mosques have helped her. I think even the Church of the Satanic Temple has helped her. Is this surprising us? You know, it does surprise me a little bit. Even here in my own community, there have been resources posted online and on Facebook in the wake of people not getting their SNAP benefits this month. Here locally, there was a resource sent out that had, I believe, 14 places where you could get food assistance. Only 2 of those were churches. So anyway, it kind of makes me a little bit mad. I can't think about it too much, but you all know that I volunteer for an organization called Lasagna Love, and I've been volunteering for them for probably 4 or 5 years at this point. They sent out an SOS that they are getting a ton more requests as people have not gotten their SNAP benefits for the month of November. We're almost halfway through the month of November now. So I have taken on 8 meals this week for 8 families. So we're gonna do 3 today, 5 later in the week. But I thought I would just take you guys along with me as we make some lasagnas and help feed our community. So a lot of you have let me know in the past that you decided to volunteer for Lasagna Love in your community after hearing about it on my channel, which is fantastic. So I'll leave the website in the description box below if you want to volunteer. It sounds like the government may reopen again this week, but I don't know, how rapidly people are going to get their benefits after that happens. I don't know how long that takes. At any rate, even notwithstanding this, current issue that's happening now, people are always in need of food in your community. And the way that Lasagna Love works is that you can either sign up to be a lasagna chef, or you can also sign up to receive a meal if you need a meal. And there's no questions asked. They do it for a multitude of different reasons: death in the family, hardships, not enough money for groceries, etc., etc. We don't ask any questions. And so then a volunteer will match you with another person, either if you are the giver or the receiver, and then you will get a meal for your family. So the requirement is that you have to offer lasagna as an option. But sometimes if I get tired of making lasagnas, I'll offer something else as well. I'll say, like, I'm either gonna do lasagna and chicken noodles this week, or lasagna and, I don't know, sometimes I've done a lot of different things. I've done like barbecue chicken and mashed potatoes. I've done chicken and noodles. I've done like chicken burrito bowls. I don't know, I've done a lot of different things just to like offer variety. But anyway, I've got some ground beef thawing in the microwave right now, so we're gonna cook that up. I had to order some stuff from Walmart because I didn't have enough marinara sauce and ricotta and cottage cheese and mozzarella. Okay, so I get these foil pans from Costco in bulk, and typically I will double them up when I'm delivering food because they can be a little bit flimsy once you get like a heavy lasagna in there. And I just got a notification that my Walmart order is on the way, so that's good. My straps are twisted. I'll grab my noodles. I always keep a ton of lasagna noodles on hand. Now there's one family that I've delivered to before that I do need to make gluten-free for them. And when you know it, Walmart was actually out of gluten-free noodles today, and I don't have any on hand. So I am gonna instead do for them like a lasagna bake with gluten-free Barilla penne, because that's what Walmart had in stock. Are you guarding the house? Make sure they're gone before I let you run out there. Oh, jump over the groceries. There you go. I've got 4 pounds of ground beef in here, and I like to season it while it cooks a little bit. So I'm gonna add some salt, some dried Italian herbs, garlic powder, I use dried minced onions and pepper. And I'll just cook this down until it is all the way cooked, and it might not need to be drained. Adam and I get a half of a cow every year from a farmer that he works with, and so a lot of times the beef that we end up getting is super lean and it doesn't need to be drained, but if it does, I'll do that. Okay, so we've got salad. We've got 3 salads for the meals for today. Now, if you decide to cook for Lasagna Love, you do not have to give anything else other than the lasagna. That's just something that I choose to do. So you're not required to do that. All that's required is to make 1 lasagna. But a lot of times I get requests for bigger families. And so I like to include more food. Sometimes if it's a really large family, again, you don't have to do this. It's not expected of you, but if it's a really large family, I'll make 2 lasagnas. But I did want to buy extra. I think I got 6 jars of sauce altogether. Because I want to make as much marinara sauce as I can today, so I'll have leftovers for the rest that I have to make this week. My beef is cooked up. You can see there's really, I guess there's a little bit of grease in the bottom of there. I might try to get some of that out, but there's really hardly any at all. We're gonna add our marinara sauce. I also have a couple of bags of frozen marinara sauce that I pulled out of the fridge that I just have thawing in some water. And I'll add that as well so we can use that up. I like to just put a little bit of water in the bottom of these. Shake it up just so I can get the rest of the sauce out, because I do like to simmer this a little bit. Obviously the tomato sauce is already, done. It's marinara sauce that's in a jar, but I do like to simmer this for a little while just to kind of let the flavors meld and get the beef a little bit more tender. This might be the biggest pot of meat sauce I've ever made. This is gonna take a little bit to come to a simmer. We're also gonna go ahead and boil this gluten-free pasta, and I'm gonna underboil it a bit just so that obviously it doesn't get too mushy, because I'm gonna bake it in the oven for a bit also. I have this hunk of Parmesan in my fridge and it needs to be used up, so we're just gonna pop it into the food processor and grate it up quick. I love this little mini food chopper I have because it's great for when you don't wanna dirty your big food processor and you just have a little bit of something to do. Sometimes you do have to break things up into smaller batches, but that's okay. Okay, good to know. I had to do the chop instead of the grind. I think it just spins it the other way. Okay, I'm gonna mix up the ricotta mixture for the gluten-free. I'm like 99.9% sure that the cottage cheese that I have is gluten-free, but I am not sure about that 0.1%. Like, I read the ingredients and it seems like it should be, but just to be sure, I know this ricotta is gluten-free. Obviously egg is gluten-free. Parmesan cheese, gluten-free. So we'll just make sure that we don't inadvertently do anything wrong. Okay, and then to the ricotta, I like to just add a little pinch of salt, not very much because the Parmesan is salty, and some dried basil and some pepper. And then that's it. Normally I mix cottage cheese and ricotta for my lasagna. I get all kinds of comments about that, but I don't know, that's the way I've always made it. I don't even know if I was just filming, but anyway, I dumped in half of my gluten-free pasta and meat sauce into this pan, and I put a little bit of extra meat sauce in the bottom because you have to remember, like, when you bake, I have to crouch down, when you bake pasta dishes, any of the sauce, the the pasta is gonna soak that up. And so you don't want it to be too dry when it's done baking. Okay, we're gonna add some shredded cheese, mozzarella cheese, and the rest of our pasta. And then I'm just gonna add another little ladle of sauce over the top because I would definitely rather have this be too saucy than too dry. Okay, so I'm gonna wait to put the cheese on the top of this. In fact, I don't have to bake these for another couple hours, so I'm just gonna let this cool until it stops steaming, wrap it up in foil, stick it in the fridge until it's time to bake, and then I'll just wait until later to put the rest of the cheese on top. Can I do anything without making a mess? No, because why would I, you know, be trying to not get tomato sauce on my freaking shirt while I'm wearing an apron? Okay, so I'm putting together the lasagnas. I like to spray the inside of the pan with just a little bit of nonstick spray, and then put a couple of ladles of marinara sauce in the bottom, and then just kind of spread it around like that. And then I have my lasagna noodles in here. These just soak in like really hot water. I just use super hot water from the tap for like, I don't know, 10 to 12 minutes. Don't use boiling water. I've tried to do that before and it falls apart and makes a huge gummy mess. All right, I've got 3 lasagna noodles in the bottom right on top of the sauce. And then we're gonna add a layer of the ricotta and cottage cheese mixture. It's probably best if I don't wear a light colored shirt when I'm dealing with tomato sauce, but you know, I don't typically think that far ahead in my life. That's just how I roll. Okay, we're gonna add some mozzarella. Now I'm gonna take this over to the stove and add some more sauce over the top. More noodles. This time I'm gonna do 4 noodles because these freezer pans are tapered, and so as you keep building it, you kind of need a little bit more noodle coverage. More of the cheese mixture. And then I'll just keep building this and we'll end with a layer of sauce on the top. All right, we've got our lasagnas put together. I'm gonna wrap these in foil, put them in the fridge, and we'll bake them off later. So I like to print off papers with kind of some information on Lasagna Love and the ingredients that I put in the lasagna and tuck it in with the box. And then I also wrapped up the lasagnas and put the garlic bread in the pans with the foil so everything could stay hot. And then Adam took me tonight and we delivered them. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Lots of things going on right now, none of which any of us can control. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, reach out to your community if you need help, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.